Welcome to Show Me Sports Legacies. Tonight we're coming again from Danville. This will be our last report on the activities of our Lady Pirates and Pirates men's basketball team. We have watched one of the greatest seasons in the history of North Central Missouri college basketball for both the men and the women. Women finish up this season 24-9 record. Men finish up with a 31-3 record, and both make it to the national tournament. Now today started early for the ladies. It started at 9 a.m. So I don't know how many of you were up at 9 a.m. or just doing your normal things, drinking coffee, but they were playing round ball down in Joplin. And it was a little different time schedule. They played it 3 different times of the day in their 3 games down there. So first thing we're going to queue up here is a conversation with Coach Jenni Croy. Post-game, she was good enough to call us a couple hours after things had settled, and we got the chance to talk to her about this season, this particular game, and then some of the things that make the national tournament trip special for the team. We're here with Coach Jenni Croy, head coach of the Pirate basketball team that just finished their season, playing in the national tournament in Joplin. Played a game at 9 a.m. What challenges does that present?
9 a.m. game is early. So we left the hotel about 7:45 so that we could arrive at the gym a little bit before 8. And, it's a grueling week at the national tournament. Our first game on Monday was 8 p.m. Then on Wednesday was 3 o'clock. And then it was, 9 a.m. this morning. And so, it's grueling and it's exhausting, but it's that way for every team that's involved. But, just got him up, got him on the bus, and got to the gym. Of course, it was dark and had to get mentally focused and mentally ready. And I feel like we started the game a little bit sluggish, but then kind of second quarter got some momentum going and didn't do enough to finish on the winning side, but extremely proud of the effort the girls gave.
Outstanding. It was fun to watch. You got that 1 out of 8 shooting start. Once you started seeing the ball go through the net a little bit, it seemed like everybody settled down and just settled into a back and forth game. And it was
it did.
1 possession game with 1 minute left in the game.
Exactly. And how quickly that changed. But yeah, it was, we, when you're playing on a stage this big, you've got to make the easy shots or the shots that are right around the basket and finish those. And we missed quite a few of those. And then, you have to get defensive stops and we failed to do that a few times. But the girls battled. They fought hard. They never gave in. That's something that every coach down here has come up to me and said, your team plays with a lot of grit. And so as a coach, you love to hear that because there's no quit in them. And so I felt like, every time we stepped on the floor this week, we were going to battle. And so I felt like that first game out, man, we had a chance and Pima is a great team. And, it's a team that I hope continues on and wins the whole thing because, we played them to a pretty close game. And so like I said, it's a fun week. It's an exhausting week and we're extremely happy that we got the opportunity to come down.
The announcers echoed what you're talking about from the other coaches and the like. They were talking about how every time they looked up, you guys were making a comeback and hanging in the game and really competing hard.
Yeah, they did. The girls did. They just weren't ready to be done yet. And so, they fought every possession and we just kind of went with if we can get some defensive stops and turn those into scores and that we could stay in the game. And so
you see a lot of size at the national tournament.
Oh my gosh, you do. And girls are big, girls are tall, and athletic as can be. So the team Wednesday we played was extremely athletic. They're very well coached, obviously, to get down here and you see all kinds. You see all teams that thrive on pure athleticism. You see teams that thrive on extreme fundamentals, and so it's from one end to the other, and you have to make those adjustments quickly depending on who you play and their style of play too.
You had balanced scoring today. Reeder, Tinoco, Brown, and Morris all in double figures. Anybody you want to point out there?
Honestly, my sophomore group, they've been great leaders all year. I thought Olivia Tinoco played, one of the best games she has. She was hitting from the outside. And she's a fierce on the boards as well. Just an athletic kid who can rebound well. And she was attacking the basket good. Jess is consistent. When you need a big shot, the ball needs to be in her hands, and she makes that happen. Gladys hurt her knee on Wednesday and fought through that today, and her ability to get to the rim was big this week for us, and she did that. Her free throws were huge on Wednesday for us to win the game, and I felt like she had a really good tournament. But JC Morris as an undersized post, every single game we played this week, she was solid. And so, I thought she did some great things. The guards driving the hole today found her on the dish, and she finished. And, just proud of how they ended it, I think, and proud of who they are, not only on the court, but off the court.
Well, you finished at 24-9. Your freshman got a lot of playing time in this tournament, so carry that forward into next year. Seems like you've set the bar again for the next classes to come. You just have to.
Yeah, and that's something we talk about, even immediately after this game. We talk about how much we're going to miss this sophomore class and how they did make history in getting down here 4 years in a row, and that doesn't stop. And so you talk to the freshmen about that. Like, now what it takes to get here and the work that has to be put in to get here, that you just can't pick up a basketball when you get to school and expect things to just happen for you. You have to work at them. And so I felt like our sophomores really set the bar high this year with their work ethic and what they brought every day for practice. And so, hopefully our freshmen continue that. We're excited about the recruiting class we have coming in to go with our returning freshman kids. And so, hopefully, again, your goal every year is to get back to this national tournament, and hopefully we can do that another time.
That's great. Let's finish with just maybe the most fun thing. I know you went over to Pitt State campus, which is hopping right now because they're going to the Elite
Right.
Eight. And
Right.
Maybe that speak to that or anything else that just stood out.
Yeah. So we took the
this
kids
week.
over. We had a day off yesterday on Thursday. And so days off are long down here. And so, you try to fill it with not just laying around the hotel. So we loaded up mid-morning and drove over to Pittsburgh, Kansas. And the Pitt State women are in the Elite Eight. They leave tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, to take off to go up to Pennsylvania. And so we were able to go and sit upstairs in their gym and watch the end of their practice and kind of see what their preparation is like and how that works, and just at the next level what that is. And so that was fun to do. And then we were able to get on their court and practice a little bit. So for me, I love it. I like to bring the kids back and show them, where I played and show them Pittsburgh State, because that's a special place for me. I'm able to visit our head trainer's still there. And so he was our trainer, 28 years ago. So got to see him. Our sports information director is still there. And so it's fun just to reminisce and go back and share that with my team. And so they had a good time there. And then of course I take them over to what's called the Mall Deli, which is one of the best places to eat down there. And
it's always important.
It always is important. So it fills my heart, fills my cup up, I guess, and makes me happy to share that. So I was able to do that, and that's what I like about having it down here at Joplin is I get to go revisit some old stomping grounds.
The community's behind you and proud of the effort and the team, and just congratulations on a great season, Coach.
Well, we appreciate that. And we felt that love and support when we were down here. We were shared videos from the watch parties that were had both on campus and both in Danville. And so we had watch parties of watching the men's teams play in our hotel lobby as well. And so we had the Drake, Missouri game pulled up. We had our men's team pulled up, and, it was fun. It's fun to support. And these kids feel that love and support when they're a part of North Central. And so I think that's what makes us special.
Very good. Thank you for calling in, and we'll see you back in Trenton.
All right. Thank you.
I want to thank Coach Croy for sharing her feelings about the team and what they accomplished this year. Jenni spent time with us. Appreciate that very much. And congratulations for a fine season. Our next segment I'm going to cue up here is a conversation that I had with Tim Bunton, who is the athletic director at Danville Area Community College and a member of the steering committee. He has worked for over 30 years on this tournament, making it great for the men's Division II national tournament to be housed here in Danville. So I had opportunity to slip out at halftime of the NCMC game and find a relatively quiet place and hear Tim talk about why they do what they do for the athletes here in Danville. We're here at halftime talking with Tim Bunton, Danville Area Community College Athletic Director, and very involved as a leader of the team that puts on this NJCAA Men's National D2 Tournament. Tell me what your role is with the tournament.
Well, it's my 30th year here at the school, so I've done a number of things over the years. I've run the clock for 25 years, and now I'm probably more into getting the head table lined up and deal with the officials that referee the games. And then just some, obviously day-to-day. Brian Hensgen, our tournament chairman, is great. He's been here 30 years as well. So it's just anything that he needs that comes up, locker room assignments, just different little things, odds and ends, probably behind the scenes more than anything.
How have you managed to hold that kind of group together over a 30-year period? You got pretty much the same management team?
Well, pretty much. Mr. Shockey, who passed away in 2018, was kind of our leader for all of the volunteers when I first came in 1995. And Dick was wonderful. We were kind of a part of his team as the people that ran the head table, meaning the clock, shot clock. Brian did the book, shot clock. And honestly, we loved it. I mean, we loved the tournament. We loved it. Athletics. We were in athletics, Brian and I. And it wasn't work to come here and do it. We just enjoyed being here at the gym. I was the baseball coach here for 25 years, so it was a tough week for that week with baseball because we'd shut down for a little bit right in the middle of March. But Dick just drew us in, and he drew a lot of people in. And the one thing I always remember with Mr. Shockey was he always told us, don't ever forget this tournament's about the kids. And so we've tried to do that with top-notch facilities, with awards, with doing their uniforms, with trying to make the locker rooms nice, just little things, and it's for the kids. So when the kids leave here, when they get to be my age, 30 years down the road, hopefully they had a good experience in Danville.
That's outstanding. It seems to me that it would be stressful at the scorer's table at times. I mean, these games are tight. They're for a lot of moving forward in the tournament, ending your career kind of stuff. The coaches are wound up a little bit the couple days I've been here, and you got to get it right. The clock running, the scoreboard, all those pieces.
You do, and I think that's one thing that we've always taken great pride in at the table is get it right, because you don't want to screw up for those reasons. We're very fortunate here to have the people that run the table for us. They are volunteers. They do our games during the regular season, but we have other people that come in and help out. But yeah, it can be stressful. I think early on when I first started doing it, it was really stressful. I think in 1999, I think I was just here 3 years, and I was on the game clock for our own team. We were in the national championship game. So I wanted to make sure, I was doing it right for both teams. I think it was Brown Mackey maybe we played. But yeah, again, it's about the kids, and you don't want to screw up. We don't mess around at the table. It's all business, and we all do our jobs at the table. And the people we have there do them. I don't do it anymore, but it was also fun at the same time. The best seat in the house, right? You're right there watching these kids play and compete.
What can you say about the talent level, the competition? Has it risen over the years? Do you notice
Well,
that?
This is the second year of 20 teams, so it's different having that many teams in here. I think we went from 12 to 16 to 20. I think I wasn't someone who liked the at-large bids. I'm kind of an old school. If you don't win, you don't belong. But at the same time, the longer it's happened, like last year, National Park won the whole thing, and they were an at-large. I think what the 4 at-large teams have done is really strengthen this tournament. You're picking teams at-large because they've had great seasons. So I think the competition is great. I think these loser bracket games are hard on the kids. I think mentally, they're beat up. It's difficult when you lose a game last night like North Central does, a game that they fought their whole season to try to get to, and then to come back today and compete again for a game. When I say that doesn't matter, I think it does matter, but their dreams of winning the whole thing are gone.
Yes.
So I've always enjoyed and respected the teams that play in these games, that they're not playing for anything, because you truly see how kids want to compete, and coaches. And there's some that don't. There's some that will check out, and you see it. And that's the difficult part of the tournament is you just wish the kids would keep playing, and some of them don't, but that's okay.
Last night, the argument was buttressed for your at-large teams because that 7 seed from Kalamazoo was a pretty strong 7 seed.
They
had lost 2 games.
Yes. I mean, there's no doubt in National Park last year, if memory serves me, we're undefeated the whole year and got beat in the region final. So all of a sudden they become a 5 seed, and that's a pretty good 5 seed. Yeah. So, and all of the at-large have I think it was DMAC and at-large. I think they were Kalamazoo, Niagara, and Johnson County, I think. But I know DMAC struggled here, but I think they were beat up a little bit too. So the point being, and what you bring up, is you're not bringing in teams that are 15-15. The at-larges are teams that have been in the top 15 in the country all year.
Yes. What do you hear back from the kids? I mean, what kind of feedback do you get?
I don't know if I hear a lot from them directly in now this role. I think they're excited. I mean, I think they like coming here. Probably hear more from the coaches. You see them in the hallways and letting them in locker rooms. And honestly, when I say I don't want to talk to the kids, not before a game. They're getting ready to play a game. So you try to tell them good game after game. And I think the cool thing is most of the kids are pretty respectful. They know who we are because of a badge we wear, and you got a radio on. And so they'll thank you every now and then. So it's just fun seeing these kids compete. I mean, the triple overtime game the other night was just, to me, what the tournament's all about. It was 2 teams fighting for their athletic lives, and they wanted to keep their dreams going. And shots were being made and plays were being made, and it was just fantastic to watch them play.
I was talking to a coach up in the stands, a high school coach. I said, those double overtime, triple overtime games, the coaches don't have much to do with them. It's like, who's going to hit that big shot? Who's going to make that steal that's unexpected?
There's no doubt. And there were some plays made the other night on both teams, though, to move it to the first and second and third overtime. The overtime is a word we don't say around here because 6 games in one day, you don't want overtime.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that was the perfect game to do it. You don't want 3 overtimes on game 1, then you're really behind all day.
Right.
And I'm joking. Overtime games are great, but just from a management and facility and having 32 games in 6 days, the overtime games can push things back.
Well, I've enjoyed my time here. I know that our kids love coming here, and I just hear great things about it, and you must be doing a lot of things right.
Well, it's fun. I've gotten to know Nate Gammon a little bit, and your coach Jeremy. It's fun to have North Central over all the time. It's just a good competitive group of people that do it the right way. So I always enjoy having North Central here.
As we transition to the last couple of pieces that we're going to present in our program tonight, we're going to present a little bit of sound from the action inside the gymnasium. First sound you're going to hear is just a little bit of the craziness and the passion of the fans. I think she wanted a foul called on that play. I don't know about you, but she was pretty adamant that there was a foul on that play. The next audio is the mad scramble at the end of the game after the missed free throw with 5.9 seconds left.
There you go.
The finality of that buzzer is kind of tough. So the next clip we're going to hear is the fans giving a standing ovation to the NCMC Pirates as they leave the court for the last time this season. Fans were very appreciative of the effort that they saw this week from the Pirates. Okay, we'll finish out this episode with a game report from Jeremy Esry, head coach of the Pirates, and then we'll follow that up with Jeanie Cooke, who is one of the organizers from Danville, and her story, which is an interesting twist involving another sport. So stay tuned, listen to those interviews as we close out the Pirates season. We welcome into the podcast head coach Jeremy Esry of the men's basketball team at North Central Missouri College, who just finished out their season at the national tournament today with a 74-72 loss to Davidson Davie in a game that would have got you in the 5th place game. But I want to ask you a question, how you got your team ready after last night's tough loss. And you're down a man who has been a pretty important man in this tournament, Cam Bennett.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for Cam. He really wanted to play, and I know he would have been out there if he could have, but he had an unfortunate injury the game before and stuff. But with this group, and sometimes it's tough to get guys up. We played 16 hours before, a really tough game, and ended up losing, and a lot of our goals and our dreams and stuff were kind of shattered with not knowing that we weren't going to be able to win a national championship. So for our guys to bounce back today and do what they did and compete, we would have loved to get a win, but I was very proud of their effort. The one thing we talked about was that we've always wanted to raise the standard of our program, and we kind of have a saying that if when you're going down the road and the road's paved, you thank whoever paved the road for you, and then you get to the end, you got to pave it for somebody else. And so we've always wanted to just pave that road a little bit more and a little bit more, and we certainly did that this year. But we really wanted to pave that road, and we've never played on a Saturday in the national tournament. We made it to the Friday a couple times, but we never played on the very last day of the year that you could play college basketball in our level and stuff. So that was what we wanted to do. We talked about that, and I thought our guys were motivated to do that. And, we just didn't have the results we wanted. You
got out to a blazing hot start, really, 24-5. Did that surprise you?
It did, because Davis and Davies is a really good team. They're just a staple at Danville, and they're a team that was in the championship game 2 years ago. I think they're in the championship game back to back 3 years ago and 2 years ago, and have a really, really good team, really well coached. So yeah, for us to jump out to that lead, and I think they had 5 points with 10 minutes left in the first half was just awesome for us. Wish we could have kept that rolling. Very hard to do so, especially when fatigue and all that sits in. But super surprised with our great start.
Their coach, I was close enough I could hear some of his exhortations. With about 13 minutes left in the first half, he was just screaming at him for effort and playing hard. At 11 minutes, he changed the mode, and he says, we got plenty of time. There's 31 minutes left in this game. He's trying to calm them all down. And finally, they got some traction and cut that lead down to 7 at the half, which seemed like that was key for him. And then it just seemed like it was a man's game in that second half. I mean, Lamont Kozar, I'm not sure how to say his name, the number 21 on their team, and John were just getting after it.
Yeah, they did. Man, John Carroll had an awesome tournament all around, and was great today. And yeah, it just came a man's game down there. And John Carroll got in a little bit of foul trouble trying to go against him. And man, their big was really dang good as well. And so, I thought they did a good job of just slowly chipping away, and their defensive pressure was really good to where we couldn't get the ball into John at times. And they just did a good job of, like I said, chipping away and getting the lead.
It's just trading punches back and forth. Now, sometimes there's a funny moment, and it's not funny because it's a great athletic play, but Gio's block on number 21 down at the rim. I mean, is that the greatest block of his career?
Oh, it has to be. It has to be, and that's something he's probably going to talk about for a long time. Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe, Gio got up that high and was able to block him. There's certainly a big height difference. And, I think Gio's probably 6'1", and they have that kid at 6'7", I think, or somewhere around there, 6'8". Yeah. And so for Gio to do that, it just shows you the competitor Gio is, the type of mindset and attitude that he has for everything. And so that was a pretty cool block for him. Yeah, and that's something that we're definitely going to put on his highlight tape at the end of the year, and something he'll remember forever.
That's going to be on his hype tape. So, you extended the game with fouls, and it was a 1-2 possession kind of game throughout that last part, and you got down to that 5.9 seconds. What'd you have in mind? It seemed like it almost played out exactly the way you wanted. Ball got loose off of the second missed free throw, but just a scramble.
Just a scramble for it. To be honest with you, I wanted Gio to make it and to prolong the game more and try to foul him and then try to get a shot. Mikey Thomas hadn't shot it very good during the day, but we do a fun little game before each during our shoot arounds before each game, and everybody gets two half court shots. And we keep track of the makes throughout the year and stuff. And Giovanni's in the lead with 15, but Mikey Thomas made the last two that he had attempted yesterday and stuff. So I think he's at 13. So I'm like, all right, if we can prolong this game, maybe they can miss something. We can make both free throws, be down one, and then have something and something crazy happen or something, and just maybe they miss both, whatever. But Gio ended up missing. I still haven't asked him if he missed on purpose or not. We had an opportunity to grab the ball and just couldn't grab the ball. And, I think Mikey, if he could have caught that ball cleanly, would have had a chance for a three.
Yeah, I wonder because you had your bigs out at half court, so I thought that's not the normal configuration for on purpose missing a foul shot. So that's interesting to hear you.
Yeah, we wanted to make it and then press and foul and stuff. And again, I told Gio asked, he's like, do I make? Do I miss? We said make, and we're going to try to get a steal or something. And we'd have Mikey and it was 5.8 seconds or something, and have Mikey and Tyler on the ball and try to get something. We thought we almost had a jump ball. The possession area was in our favor as well. We thought we almost had a jump ball before that sequence, and we fouled them. And so we're hoping to do something like that and prolong the game. But with Gio missing, Tyler's really good at getting offensive rebounds, so it wasn't the worst thing. I think he might have got a tip on it, or somebody got a tip on it. Just didn't play out.
Well, it was exciting to the very end. 31 wins, 3 losses. Talk about your guys and what they've done here and your feelings towards your team.
Yeah, I'm just so proud of them. And, we really put an emphasis with recruiting these guys on recruiting guys that were from really good, well-coached high school teams that were winning programs and had been to state championships and, just kind of knew how to the ins and outs of being a winner every single day on and off the court and how to practice every single day and stuff. And so, really proud of Coach Houston and what he did in the recruiting efforts and the guys that we got in. And, to have 31 wins is super, super special. And, I think they were, 58 and 58 and 11, I think, in 2 years. Wow. So, just a really cool, really a great accomplishment for those guys. But just and it all hasn't sunk in yet, Jeff. I apologize, but it's
sure. I totally.
I'm still wishing we'd be practicing on Monday and all that stuff. We'll still be playing tomorrow, but just don't know how we're going to replace these guys because they're just so special and they're just great kids and they happen to know how to play basketball really well too.
Well, nothing to hang your head about because the effort was there throughout. And hey, tonight the number 1 seed went down big.
They did. Yeah, that shocks me. Yeah.
So, when people think those seeds, are inviolate, that's going to happen that way. I mean, it is tough out there. There's some great teams. So those at-large teams that get in sometimes are some of the best teams, and they get seeded lower.
Yep, and and I think that's the case. I thought the Kalamazoo team that we ended up going against in the Elite Eight, they lost 2 games all year, and it just so happened their second loss was in the region championship game. So they dropped them down to where they were in that large bid instead of an automatic bid where they probably would have been a 4 or 5 seed, automatic bid. And we wouldn't have to see them. And they were very tough, very well coached team. And so it's just the nature of the beast. That's how it goes. And, someday, hopefully that we'll be on the right side of that stuff.
Had a great crowd there tonight. They were just all in. And great standing ovation there as you guys left the court.
Yeah, Trenton's just such a special place in North Central, and for all those fans to drive the 5.5, 6 hours and support us, and to see them in the hotel, and we would host little watch parties for the women's team when the women's team was playing and their national tournament, and just the fan support that would come over and watch. But 60 plus. People back home in the Ketchum Center watching the live streaming and stuff every game and stuff. But yeah, it was just so nice to see all the support that we get throughout the years, and they travel and support us on the road. You don't see that with the other teams that are here at the national tournament. You might see some family and stuff like that, but you don't see just the crowds of fans, and I think that's what makes us really special in North Central is we have fans that come to every single game and support us. That was really cool.
Well, Coach, get home safe. Enjoy being in your own bed tonight. Great job. Your team did a fabulous job and really represented themselves well. And best of luck to all of them in their future. And we know that you'll be right back at it. There'll be people bouncing balls in the gym before we know it, getting ready for next season.
Appreciate it, Jeff. And yeah, we're excited to get rolling again. And we got to soak this in a little bit and really enjoy what we did, and hopefully our guys can do that. And then it's back at it, and we're ready to hopefully put on some more shows for the fans in next year. So we appreciate all you do and love this podcast. So thank you so much.
Good night, Coach. Thank you. Okay, we're here with Jeanie Cooke, championship leadership team for the NJCAA Division II National Championships, which have been held in Danville, Illinois for 32 years. And she is an original member of setting this whole thing up. So we're happy to have Jeanie with us today to talk about what it takes to put on this tournament and her role with that, and just some of her background. So welcome to the program, Jeanie.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and welcome to Danville.
Enjoyed the basketball yesterday. It was just wild and crazy and chaotic, and teams up and then down and then up and then down. And you see that all the time, I'm sure.
Yes, we do. Every tournament is just full of excitement, full of joy. We get to meet such great people from around the country, and it's a labor of love for all of our many volunteers that help run this.
Tell us about how this got started and how Danville snared this championship and has held on to it for 32 years. In this world, that's quite an accomplishment.
It really is, and it takes a lot of hard work, but it also takes good people. So the athletic director here was a gentleman by the name of Dick Shockey. It was he and myself. I was the head of the athletic group that supported the college. And then a guy named Scott Eisenhower, who was eventually our mayor. We tripped out to Colorado Springs to make a bid on this. We had found out through the college here that there was a national tournament. It seemed like a good idea at the time. And lo and behold, if we didn't get it, we've managed to keep it all these years. May we keep it for a long, long time, because it's really a labor of love for our community, and you can probably see that from all the volunteers that run the tournament.
It takes a lot of sponsorship, it takes a lot of manpower and woman power to pull something like this off.
It does indeed, but it's a lot easier at year 32 than it was at year 1, 2, and 3.
What were some of those, I don't know if they would be trip-ups, but what were those things that you go, we didn't think of that? What were some of those things in the early days?
Well, there may have been 100. For example, you have people locked in the tournament all day and all night. How do you take care of those folks? So what do you do? So, of course, now we're doing 3 meals a day, taking care of the people that are locked in the tournament. That's one thing. And as the tournament grew to now 20 teams, it requires more and more and more volunteers. The lucky part about that is if they volunteer here, they generally love it and they stay, and we keep adding to that core.
We have a thing called Holiday Hoops in Trenton, Missouri, and it's over the holidays high school tournament. And it takes a lot of hosts. It takes a lot of people to greet the buses, steer them to the locker rooms, just things like that. So that
take tickets at the door.
Make the brownies.
Oh yes,
brownies are a big thing in our concession stand.
Yes,
and to get people over and over and over to volunteer for that is really a great thing.
Yes, it really is. Of course, also, if you volunteer, you get in free to the tournament, and that's kind of exciting for people.
And you get some good food.
And
I enjoyed that last night. I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So you see different teams every year, maybe a core group of 6 or 8 returning each year, and then new people.
Yeah.
What are some of the comments that you get from coaches, from athletic directors, from sponsors?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever had a negative comment. if there is any negative, it would be like, well, we're short in that area. We need to enhance that area. We need to build that some. So what you do is then you just next year, you do that, and that's how you keep building it. So we've built it to the point when we don't have a lot of building to do, but we have a ton of maintaining.
Talk about, you have a love of sports. I mean, you have a lot of fundamental things you do here, but if you didn't love basketball, if you didn't love sports, you'd be nowhere near this place, because this is where it's all happening.
Oh, it is all happening. In my real job, I'm the director of our tourism bureau. So as long as I'm the person that's there, I pretty much have to be here, even if I didn't want to, because people from all over the country. And we've met so many friends here. A lot of teams will return, many of them don't, and then we might kind of miss them, because the community really pulls the coaches and the players. They pull them into the community and let them know how much we appreciate them, and in turn then they let us know how much they appreciate us.
Excellent. Now, you have another interest that would be interesting to my podcast listeners, because we cover baseball a lot. Once basketball, March Madness goes away and the NJCAA activities are done, it's going to be baseball time. And
somebody's
talk about
been
that.
Talking, haven't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Gammett.
Yes. Well, since 1988, a business partner and I have owned a summer collegiate league team. It's built in a stadium built in 1945 for the Brooklyn Dodgers, by Branch Rickey, the owner of the Dodgers himself. He ran into a guy from Danville, and he said, if you build a stadium, I will send a Brooklyn Dodger minor league team. They were just starting the minor leagues. And so we built it, and they opened in 1946. As you can imagine, this part of the country having the Brooklyn Dodgers here, that was a pretty big deal. So the first year, 46, went very, very well, and they got a letter over the winter from the Dodgers that it had gone so well that it did so well that when the letter arrived with the schedule, there was something really unusual. So in 1947, in the middle of the season, the major league team came and played at Danville Stadium. On that team was Duke Snyder, Jackie Robinson at first, Pee Wee Reese, all those boys they call the Boys of Summer.
That is a historic team for a multitude of reasons.
And we had others. We had the Brewers. We had the Dodgers the second time. But over the years, the minor leagues found bigger and better places, and the stadium began to fail. It sat idly for many, many years. And then my business partner and I had coached his son in Little League, said, it's the only regulation field around here. Do you think we could save it? Well, here we are all these years later, and each year it gets better and better. It's done an interior redo this year, which has never been done in all these years, so that's going to excite people. It started out as the Central Illinois Collegiate League, but now it's grown to 20 teams all over the country, from Pennsylvania to Ohio to Tennessee.
And what year did that start?
The growth was gradual. It started, though, in 1988.
And that's when you began?
Yes.
In 88. Now, is this wood bat baseball?
It's wood bat baseball. It's original baseball, wooden bats, wooden stadium. And it's players from all over the country, so they come from Hawaii, Mississippi State, LSU, a community college someplace. They all have to come through the coaches. We don't go out and pick players. So we work with the coaches. And, of course, if you've got a wooden bat, you're going to hit better. If you're a pitcher, you're going to be able to develop your pitchers better. And so it works well for the colleges. It works very well for us. We currently have 34 major leaguers that have played for us. You play long enough, those things can happen. So probably one of our best known ones would be Boston's John Papelbon, who won the College World Series. Right now we have Josh Smith, the Texas Rangers, that just got a Silver Slugger Award. So it's fun to watch them grow as teachers or major leaguers or dads. It's very much fun to watch the alumni and how much a part they are of our community because they live with host families.
Last summer in our first podcast episode, I went over and visited in the Mink League, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas League, and the St. Joe Mustangs, which are one of the most popular attractions, averaging over a couple thousand in attendance. And their stadium, Phil Welch, used to be have a guy named Mickey Mantle that would show up there every now and then from the Joplin.
Kind of familiar.
Yeah. So they had some of that same history of people that had played there in that stadium, and they are salvaging and improving and building on the legacy of that stadium. And it's a great thing. We also have the Chillicothe Mudcats in that league, and they're only about 25 miles to the south of where Trenton, Missouri sits. So we are all about collegiate wood bat baseball in the summer.
It's absolutely wonderful. And for us, it's kind of gone on generations. For example, one year we had a player from LSU by the name of Kurt Ainsworth. Well, Kurt won a World Series. He had a wonderful career, but unfortunately, his arm went out. He'd done the Olympics and the College World Series, and he didn't know what to do, and so he got big money to sign with Major League Baseball, but when the arm went out, so he and a buddy started making bats in the buddy's garage. It was now named by Major League Baseball in January the official bat of Major League Baseball, and the company's called Marucci. And so he played for us, his brother played for us, and this year his son's going to play for us. So we're really excited about alumni sending their kids and coming back.
Well, that's a great legacy, and certainly fits with the name of our podcast, Show Me Sports Legacies. To know that stuff's going on over here in the bordering state of Illinois is really exciting. And I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for what you're doing here for NJCAA and the production that you put on. Good to talk to you.
Well, it's always good to talk to someone else who loves sports, that's for sure. And we are proud of this community, and we're glad to have you here. And now I'm going to have to be watching what's going on down your way.
Okay. Well, thank you to Jeanie Cooke, who is the key member of the championship leadership team here at the NJCAA National Men's Tournament for Division II. And we're enjoying our time in Danville. And thank you again for your time.
You're very welcome.
Hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jeanie Cooke as much as I did. Kind of transitions late winter into spring. We go from basketball to baseball. And so it's kind of fitting that we close out this episode, which represents the end of the NCMC basketball season. Talk a little sports. Sports keep going, keep going, even after you lose a game. So we appreciate all season long our relationship with Jenni Croy and with Jeremy Esry and with Nate Gammett and all the folks at NCMC. They provide us with so much entertainment, excitement, and great young people doing great things. We are proud of their accomplishments and look forward to all the things they're going to do in the future. Thank you for listening to this episode of Show Me Sports Legacies.